Hello. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are good. I know this is usual. I'm usually not on this early. This is a little early, but so I have been going over a bunch of files that I had gotten. So I'm talking about JE's files. Going over those, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with them, the best way to, you know, get them out there. But in the meantime, I want to talk about this. Shout out to Prosser Gang for bringing this to my attention. Good morning, Sugar. Good morning, Hoping for Answers. Glad you guys could be here. So, as you know, CT is a constant thing. It happens so many children. This happens to so many children a year. I want to say it's like 2 million children a year that get CT'd. And I hope you guys are following me with what I'm saying. I just don't want to I don't want to use any trigger words. Hey, Mama Moon. So I got sent this, this thing on higher education and how so many professors are getting charged with these crimes. And is there anything to that? So let me pull this up and we're going to go through it together. Can you guys just take a second and please hit that thumbs up for me? Okay. All right. CST in higher education. When a University of North Dakota professor was arrested on CP charges, the Dakota student asked, "We can't help but wonder if this type of thing is common in other schools around the nation." The answer is, unfortunately, yes. A concerning number of higher education employees are being investigated, arrested, and prosecuted for crimes against children. From Assistant Dean Michael Morris at University of Virginia, who downloaded Infant RAPE to a creative writing professor, Kirk Nassett at Allegheny College, who possessed over 500,000 videos and images. 500,000 videos and images of CSA, okay, material. The organized crime of CT, child pornography, and other forms of child SA appears to be common in higher education sector, often committed in the workplace, offices, classrooms, summer camps, on campus, work computers, and electronic infrastructures, creating additional concerns related to campus safety and potentially fraud the higher education has been reluctant to discuss in a transparent manner. So let's go through some of these things. This research in progress details 223 professors and staff investigated, arrested, and prosecuted on CSA related charges, with 3 cases investigated with no charges brought. This data set does not represent the total number of higher education employees investigated for participating in these crimes. This is just a sample. Okay? These are professors, presidents, provosts, and deans, all in higher education. Let me step over here real quick and see what you guys are. Hey, Sifa. Okay. Niles Edwards Lehman, 57-year-old chemistry professor at Portland State University, was arrested and indicted February 21st, 2019 on 35 child pornography-related charges of encouraging child SA. In a deal, Lehman pleaded no contest to 2 counts of first-degree encouraging CSA, and the judge dismissed the remaining 33 counts. He was sentenced July 8th, 2019 to 2.5 years in jail, followed by 5 years of supervised release. Isn't that insane? That is crazy to me. Only 2.5 years. He was caught posting images to a public media account, Tumblr, at the time of his arrest. He had hundreds of images of children as young as 3 years old being SA'd. Here's a little section of that from the court papers. The university placed Lehman on paid leave upon news of his arrest and then allowed him to resign in May of 2019. Lehman's PhD is from UCLA. He had been employed with Portland State University since 2001 and was awarded Oregon Scientist of the Year in 2018 by the Oregon Academy of Science. Lehman posted $250,000 bail and was on supervised release pending his sentencing. He was registered as a sex offender. Roland L. Higgins, 72-year-old professor at East Asian History and Global Studies, Keene State College, was arrested and charged May 4th, 2018 on 10 felony child pornography counts. In November 2018, he was indicted on 26 CP charges. He was trading in, the assaults of children as young as 5. Higgins was known for his work on Mongolia and his extensive travel to East Asia and study tours to China. He is a member of the Asian Studies Association and the Association for Ming Studies and has spoken about organ trafficking. His wife, Lynn A. Higgins, is a professor at Dartmouth College with published work on RAPE. Go figure. Higgins had been employed at Keene State for 36 years. As of 2016, he earned $105,000. Keene State placed him on leave upon his arrest and terminated his employment on June 30th, 2018. His last court date was set for May 13th, 2021, but was continued with no new court date scheduled as of June 2021. Higgins remains free on $30,000 bail. Rochester Institute of Technology. Peter R. Kiewit, a 59-year-old assistant professor of film at Rochester Institute of Technology, was arrested December 21st, 2016 on CP-related charges and convicted of CP possession on April 13th, 2017. Kiewit was sentenced to 180 days to be served on weekends at Monroe County Jail and 10 years of supervised release. Now, let me just take a second. People with drug charges spend years and years in jail, in prison. People with DUI charges could spend up to 5 to 7 years in jail. People who are charged with involuntary manslaughter get years in jail, right? But people who encourage and possess things like this, images and videos of little kids being assaulted and abused, are walking around free, or they get 2 years or 180 days. That's it. In August 2019, Kiewit was arrested again and charged with ST of a minor using force, fraud, and coercion, and possession of CP. The second arrest included links to an overdose of a female child that Kiewit had been charged with trafficking. He was indicted July 9th, 2020. Now, he was out walking around free after 180 days, and he did that afterwards. He kidnapped a child. He trafficked a child because he was not locked up. The second arrest included links to an I just read that part. He was indicted July 9th, 2020 with a superseding indictment returned on February 2nd, 2021 on the second federal charge and is being held in federal custody during the legal process still pending. When Kiewit was employed at Rochester Institute of Technology, prior to the second arrest, although title complaints were reportedly filed against him, and the student paper reported many students reported submitting teacher evaluations, including comments and accusations about Kiewit's inappropriate behavior in and outside of the classroom. The university awarded Kiewit 10-year status. Kiewit is no longer employed at RIT. RIT will not disclose if Kiewit was on paid or unpaid leave after his arrest, or if he was allowed to resign with full benefits, or he was terminated. Prior to joining RIT, Kiewit was a professor at Elon University in North Carolina, and before that he worked in Hollywood as a director, writer, and producer, including as director of creative affairs at MGM Television. Big shocker there. Kiewit won awards for a film he directed called Silent Lies with Variety. Silent Lies, which Variety described as a tale of brutal essay of a young girl, produced by Babyhead Productions. I mean, jeez. As of November 21st, 2017, he retained his membership with the Directors Guild of America, despite being a registered sex offender. After his second arrest, he is reportedly no longer a guild member. In Los Angeles, Kiewit also volunteered with inner city children in the LA school system. I might say this name wrong, but David D. Blaszczak, 69-year-old assistant clinical professor at Rochester Institute of Technology and clinical preceptor in the physician assistant program in family medicine, was arrested January 18th, 2018 on child pornography-related charges. He pled guilty August 14th, 2018 to 3 counts of receipt and was sentenced to November 21st, 2018 to 21 years in federal prison. At the time of his arrest, he had over 8,000 CSEM images, videos, including of infants and toddlers and animals doing things to children. He drugged and sexually abused children aged 7 to 12 years old at his daughter's sleepover parties. He also abused his own daughter. She later took her own life. He created CP of the abuse of at least 40 different incidents involving approximately 8 to 10 children. Although he had been reported to the police 3 times, local prosecutors consistently declined to prosecute. They wouldn't even take him to court. Let me see what you guys are saying over here. I mean, it's craziness, the stuff that is going on. Okay, let me get back over here, you guys. Sorry. Let me just grab my coffee real quick. It's amazing to me that oh my God, all of that stuff happened. He was reported to the police how many times, and prosecutors declined to prosecute? I mean, what is the deal with all of these professors being involved in this kind of thing? Is there something to it? Is it just coincidence that so many professors happen to be into this stuff? I don't believe in coincidence. All right. He had been employed at RIT for nearly 20 years and had been awarded RIT's Outstanding Clinical Preceptor of the Year. He also worked as a family medicine physician at Clyde Family Health Center and in Clyde Savannah Central School District as their school physician, an emergency healthcare provider. He surrendered his New York medical license soon after his arrest and was terminated by Clyde Family Health Center. Stephen James Kilpatrick, a 63-year-old professor of mathematics at Liberty University. June 27th, 2018, on 6 charges, 3 counts of indecent liberties. 3 counts of indecent liberties of a child younger than 15 years old, and 3 counts of the use of communication systems to facilitate certain offenses involving children. Kilpatrick's charges were sent to a grand jury in November 2018. He was found guilty June 5th, 2019 on 5 counts of child sex solicitation. Kilpatrick was free on a $125,000 bond until June 2019, when he was taken into custody while awaiting sentencing. A judge affirmed his 35-year prison sentence on November 26, 2019. Kilpatrick was traveling to meet what he thought was a 13-year-old child for the purpose of exploitation and abuse. When he was arrested, Liberty University suspended Kilpatrick upon news of his arrest and later terminated him. This is at least the third arrest of a Liberty University employee on these related charges. Crazy. Kilpatrick taught Bible lessons in his home to children. See, that makes it even worse. He filed an appeal to his conviction in February of 2020. David Blair DeHaven, 49-year-old adjunct business professor at Liberty University, was arrested August 7th, 2019 on CP-related charges and indicted on the same day on 6 charges of filming and photographing minors in a state of undress. DeHaven was found guilty July 16, 2020, in a jury trial of 3 counts of unlawfully filming or photographing a non-consenting person and 4 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. On January 21st, 2021, the judge dismissed 1 count of unlawful filming and sentenced DeHaven to 30 days suspended jail sentence per count on the 6 remaining charges, with 12 months unsupervised probation. I mean, is it just me, or because I feel like if you ever get charged with a crime against children, you should never be unsupervised ever again. I mean, I think if you get arrested for crimes against a child, you should be locked up forever with no chance of ever getting out. I mean, that's how I feel. DeHaven had installed hidden cameras in his home bathroom in addition to elsewhere in his house, which captured people using the bathroom. These cameras were discovered by a teenage girl who was at DeHaven's house for a party his teenage son hosted, which included alcohol. Of course it did. Liberty suspended DeHaven after his arrest. He is no longer employed at Liberty University. DeHaven was also James River High School's Parent-Teacher-Student Association president and was previously dean of the School of Information Systems and Technology, Kaplan University, and vice president with First Union Bank. George Coleman Baker, 43-year-old adjunct professor, Bright Divinity School, Texas Christian University, TCU, was arrested March 23, 2018 on CP charges. He was sentenced July 20th, 2018 to 10 years in jail for each of 33 counts and 10 years supervised release for 1 count. His projected release date from Texas prison is 2038. Baker was the program manager for Soul Repair Center at Bright Divinity School. As Baker is currently in jail, he is no longer employed at TCU, although the terms of his separation are not clear. Baker was a life coach and had been, according to the Burleson Star, a pastor at Calvary Baptist Church in Stamford, Texas, Calvary Baptist Church in Seymour, Texas, and First Baptist Church in Winehart, Texas. His Huffington Post account under the name Coleman Baker is still live. He called himself a scholar of religion. Makes me sick. Hold on, let me grab my coffee. Okay. Scott Cameron Lowe, 57-year-old philosophy department chair, Bloomsburg University. Let me just step over here, see what's going on with you guys. Hey, Sassafras. Suzanne. These people need locked up permanently. Any crime against a child is grounds for a permanent 8x10 extended stay. Sex crime should automatically be, castration. I agree. Okay. Was arrested February 15th, 2018, and charged with 5 CP-related counts, arraigned on April 5th, 2018, and was free after posting a $250,000 bail. He pleaded guilty June 2018 to 4 counts and was sentenced to September 27th, 2018, to 1 to 2 years in jail. Lowe was trading in CSA, Child SA, on his university computer, including children as young as 7. University officials immediately reported Lowe's activities to the Attorney General, who issued a public statement. My office has a zero-tolerance policy for sexual predators, no matter who they are. These charges are particularly heinous because the accused is a professor, someone trusted to work closely with students. This professor is charged with viewing CP on his computer in his university office. That is outrageous, and he will be held accountable. No one is above the law. Lowe was suspended and then retired after his arrest. He had been employed by Bloomsburg University for 30 years. On September 11th, 2019, Lowe began his 15 years as a registered sex offender, but is a free man. Harrison Ben Smith, 37-year-old associate professor of engineering, Otterbein University, was arrested May 11th, 2016 on CP-related charges, including of a prepubescent girl being abused by a man. Smith pleaded not guilty to all 10 charges and filed to suppress evidence. He was indicted on all 10 counts November 8th, 2017, and on February 17th, 2021, he changed his plea to guilty to counts 1, 6, and 10. His sentence date is set for June 24th, 2021. Smith has been free on personal recognizance since his 2016 arrest. Smith's wife, Sarah E. Buckley, is a local lawyer. Otterbein placed Smith on paid leave upon news of his arrest. Paid leave. We're still going to pay you, even though you are this very sick individual. Like, I just don't get these things. Upon news of his arrest, and then allowed him to resign on May 20th, 2016. Smith was a lecturer at Ohio State University for 3 years prior to being hired by Otterbein in November 2015. Jack Edgar Harklerode, 71-year-old Herbert L. Spencer professor of biology. Bucknell University he was arrested in 2007 on CP charges and found guilty of 20 possession charges. He also pleaded guilty to another 11 counts of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse. On March 18th, 2009, he was sentenced to 13.9 to 27.5 years on the CP charges and sentenced January 2011 to 5 to 10 years in jail, followed by 10 years of probation on CSA charges. He was also found guilty in Columbia County for the assault of a 10-year-old boy and sentenced in 2009 to another 9 to 30 months in prison. In 2016, his motion for early parole was denied. On June 4th, 2020, he was released on parole. My God. The parole board filed to notify the prosecutor, Union County District Attorney, who had previously opposed his parole. Over a period of 10 years, he repeatedly raped at least 2 young boys in his Bucknell University office. At the time of his arrest, he had hundreds of images of child assault on his computer, including children as young as 5 years old and possibly abducted children. These images included the above-mentioned sentencing in Columbia Country for the assault of a 10-year-old boy at a campground in 2006. Although he is listed as a professor on the archived course catalog, his status was revoked by Bucknell. The course catalogs are historical documents and are not edited. He is a registered SO. Ronald Anthony, not even going to attempt that last name, 69-year-old president of International College of Hospitality Management, Everest College, and Anthem College, was arrested September 2017 and charged with 144 counts of CP charges. He was trading in the assault of infants as young as 6 months old. Oh my God. He pleaded no content to all 144 charges and was sentenced November 2nd, 2018 to 8 years in jail, followed by 5 years of supervised release. For count 1 served concurrently with 16 years jail and 10 years supervised release for counts 2 through 144. He was a professor at various universities, including University of Wisconsin, University of Akron, Pennsylvania State University, and University of New Haven. Sierra Nevada College, San Jose State University, and College of Boca Raton. His LinkedIn profile listed him as president of International College of Hospitality Management, Everest College, and Anthem College. He is a registered SO in Florida, where he is incarcerated. I'm not going to read this. This is very, I don't even want to read that. Okay. But that tells some of what he did. Michael Glenn Rich, 56 years old. Hey, did you guys notice that Sierra College was on there? Michael Glenn Rich, 56-year-old former assistant professor of journalism at Auburn University. He was arrested November 16th, 2017 on 3 counts of CP possession. Rich was indicted on all 3 counts. November 16th, 2017, pleaded guilty to all 3 counts and was sentenced February 1st, 2018 to 18-month suspended jail sentence followed by 2 years probation. Rich had been free on $45,000 bail throughout the legal process. Rich was an Episcopal priest in Birmingham, Alabama, and no longer employed at Auburn University when he was arrested. The Diocese of Alabama immediately suspended Rich after his arrest and released the following statement. Our diocese is grieved by the arrest of Michael Rich, who had been serving as a priest in Birmingham. Upon learning of the charges against him, Rich was immediately suspended from the practice of ministry within the Episcopal Church, and proceedings under the disciplinary canons of our church have been initiated. Rich is a registered SO in Alabama. I mean, don't you think that this is a lot of professors, a lot of people in higher education, and they're all charged with crimes against children. They're all charged with having all of these videos and images on their computer in their possession. They've all done these things to children. And they're all I mean, what is the deal with all of these professors, really? All right. William Matthew Carter, 52-year-old English professor at Auburn University, was arrested May 10th, 2019 on possession of CP charges in Blacksburg, Virginia, and 5 additional CP-related charges in Auburn, Alabama on May 13, 2019. Carter was detained in Virginia, awaiting extradition to Alabama on $50,000 bond. On March 19, 2020, he was arrested by Alabama police on the original 5 counts of CP possession and held on a $125,000 bond. As of June 2021, Carter remains in Lee County, Alabama Detention Center pending a grand jury set for August 16, 2021. In Virginia, Carter waived his indictment, pled no contest, and was convicted on September 3, 2019. He was sentenced December 2, 2019 on 1 count of CP possession to 5 years of jail with 4 years suspended, followed 5 years of supervised probation, and is a registered SO. Investigators found CSEM in Carter's home and workplace. Auburn University terminated Carter's employment on the day of his arrest, May 10, 2019. This is, at least, the 3rd arrest in Auburn University. Details for Auburn University Police Lieutenant Dennis Ray Ledbetter are the staff section. Nathan A. Madsen, 37-year-old visiting assistant professor of music, University of Tampa, UT, and director of UT's Community Orchestra, was arrested March 2016 on CP-related charges. On February 3, 2017, he pleaded guilty to possession and to enticing a child to produce CP and was sentenced May 26, 2017 to 17 and a half years in federal prison, followed by lifetime supervised release. He must register as an SO. Madsen was caught responding to Backpage.com advertisement from a man who said he was a stepfather sharing his 14-year-old daughter. Oh my God. Placed by an undercover Homeland Security agent. Madsen agreed to pay $140 to assault the child. He was also exploiting a 16-year-old girl to produce CP for him, including sadistic, oh my gosh, abuse and torture. There's the ad. Sick. People are sick. Madsen has a master's degree from Bard College and was a doctoral candidate at Texas Tech University. He was music director of the Woodstock Chamber Orchestra, associated conductor of the Texas Tech University Symphony Orchestra, assistant conductor of the Lubbock Symphony Orchestra, and staff of the Greater Princeton Youth Orchestra. He also served as Mormon missions. University of Tampa placed him on paid leave after his arrest and then terminated his employment. Stephen Phillips Bray, 53-year-old dean, School of Arts and Humanities, associate professor of religion, Methodist University, was arrested October 25, 2017 on campus on 18 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor and indicted November 28, 2017. Bray pleaded guilty December 15, 2017 to 6 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor and was sentenced to 2 to 7.5 years in jail, 100% of which was suspended with 52 days credit for time spent in jail and 3 years probation. He must register as an SO for 30 years. Bray was caught when he sent, oh my God, RAPE videos of children as young as 3 to undercover law enforcement. There's the warrant. Bray's research included biblical studies and the history of Christianity. He holds a master's degree from Yale and a PhD from Notre Dame. Bray had been employed at Methodist University for 17 years. He is no longer employed at Methodist University. Hold on 1 second. Okay, Billy John Lockhart, 36-year-old physiatrist, University of California, San Francisco, UCSF. Department of Psychiatry was arrested May 2017 on CP charges. He pleaded guilty July 18th, 2018 to one count and was sentenced November 27th, 2018 to 3 years in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. Lockhart must register as an SO. At the time of his arrest, he had more than 1,500 images and 280 videos of CR, including infants as young as 6 months, and sadistic and violent conduct. Lockhart also had stories about children being assaulted and information on how to do it, and conversations with others about exploiting children. Lockhart used the university's internet network to trade in. The university placed Lockhart on leave upon news of his arrest and terminated him on August 31st, 2017. The Medical Board of California revoked his medical license January 30th of 2019. Lockhart is a graduate of Yale University School of Medicine. He is also a returned Peace Corps volunteer, having served in Senegal. Lockhart's partner and adult pornography actor, Benjamin Alfred Martin, aka Blue Kennedy, was arrested at the same time as Lockhart, May 2017, and charged with multiple CP offenses. Martin pleaded guilty June 2019. I mean, you seriously have to ask yourself, I mean, how do these people get in the position that they have? You know, being like they are. Mark Ranzenberger, 61-year-old professor of journalism at Central Michigan University, was arrested and charged May 20th, 2016, and pleaded guilty September 27th, 2016, to one federal count of CP possession, and 4 of which 3 were dropped in a deal, state counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct for repeatedly assaulting a girl younger than 13 over a 7-year period. On January 19th, 2017, Ranzenberger was sentenced in federal court to 14 years in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. On January 26, 2017, he was sentenced to 14 to 45 years in prison in Michigan State's Isabella County Court to be served concurrently with his federal sentencing. He remained in custody pending sentencing. Ranzenberger was caught when he mistakenly showed CP to his students. A student reported the crime, triggering university police to open an investigation. At the time of his arrest, Ranzenberger was in possession of over 1,000 images or videos of child SA, including the assault of infants. He also had a grooming document instructing pedos how to manipulate children from birth to age 11 to participate in acts. The girl whom Ranzenberger assaulted for years testified at his sentencing, calling him a psychopath monster. She said he's smooth, charming, and manipulative. He was able to hide the monster he was in every word he spoke. His coworkers and family didn't know he was a child molester. The victim described Ranzenberger as a slug of a man and a pathological liar. Ranzenberger was vice president of the Teaching Faculty Union and had been employed at CMU since 1999. He was placed on leave and then resigned his position in March 21st, 2016, before his May 2016 arrest. He also worked as a local journalist and was awarded Michigan Association Press Managing Editors Association awarded in 2012 and served on the local city planning commission. William Lord Merrill, 58-year-old chair department teaching education and professional development, Central Michigan University. was arraigned November 13th, 2012 on 4 state CP-related charges, later dropped in lieu of one federal possession charge on November 20th, 2012. Merrill was indicted December 2012 on 2 counts of receipt and pleaded guilty. March 21st, 2013 to 1 count of receipt, and the other charges dropped. He was sentenced July 23rd, 2013 to 5.8 years in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release, and must register as an SO. Merrill was trading in CR on his work computer on campus. He was caught when IT staff noticed large amounts of data downloading. CMU immediately notified federal law enforcement, suspended Merrill, and issued a statement. At the time of his arrest, Merrill had more than 100,000 images and 60,000 videos involving bondage, bestiality, and children in noticeable anguish. In addition to his employment at CMU, he was field director of the Michigan Mathematics Service Project for elementary and middle school teachers in 1990 to 94, a fourth grade teacher in the Duval County Public Schools in Jacksonville, Florida from 79 to 84, and a substitute teacher in the Columbus, Ohio City Schools. Merrill was free on $50,000 bond. Free on $50,000 bond, after he had all of those images and videos on his computer. What? God. Thomas Jackson Menard, 56-year-old president, Franklin College, was arrested January 6, 2020, on 3 charges of child enticement, use of a computer to facilitate a child crime, and exposing a child to harmful material. In March 12, 2020, additional child pornography possession charges were filed. As of June 2021, a jury trial is scheduled for March 2022. Menard belonged to CSEM Group, trading CSEM on KIK. He was trading in CSEM of children as young as 7 years old and discussed, abusing the 4-year-old child of a man who offered to share his son. Menard was caught attempting to meet a 15-year-old boy. The child was an undercover law enforcement officer. Menard told the arresting officer that he, Menard, is a distinguished person and works in higher education. Get that off there. Franklin College immediately terminated Menard upon his arrest, released a statement, cooperated with law enforcement's investigation, and opened their investigation concerning Dr. Menard's conduct while president. The college also opened a hotline and an online access to anonymously report any communications with Menard that may have violated the Franklin College sexual misconduct policy. Franklin College also held a campus-wide community meeting to discuss Menard's arrest and arrange for additional off-campus counseling for anyone in need. Menard was vice president of development and alumni relations at American University from 2008 to 2015. American University has not opened an investigation into Menard's conduct, offered a hotline, or other anonymous reporting mechanisms. Menard is free on $7,500 cash bond. Wow. Charles Victor Kopstein Pank, 74-year-old adjunct music professor, American University. Mount Vernon College and Montgomery College. He was arrested May 23, 2019 on 10 state-level CP possession charges, later dropped in lieu of a federal possession charge, which he was indicted October 10, 2019. He pleaded guilty January 14th of 2020 to 1 possession charge and was sentenced to 4.5 years in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. and $144,000 in restitution to 35 victims. He told investigators was engaged in child trafficking via CP collection for over 20 years, 10 of which he conducted on the internet. He was actually involved in the trafficking of children for over 20 years, 10 of which he conducted on the internet. He had more than 1,000 CSEM files with over 1 million images and over 6,800 videos, which included sadistic abuse of young children. And he got 4.5 years. Doesn't that make you sick? He taught music lessons to children in his home. He is a member of the National Association of Teachers of Singing, NATS, the American Guild of Musical Arts, AGMA, and the Friday Morning Music Club, FFMC. His wife and duet partner, Dr. Alicia Kopstein-Pink, is an adjunct professor at American University. Was under house arrest during the legal process. His arrest was part of Operation Broken Heart. Richard Branson, now former president, American University, was caught 1990 by law enforcement calling local daycares seeking to SA children. In a deal, Branson pleaded guilty to 2 misdemeanor obscene telephone calls. Fairfax County Judge Conrad Waters Jr. issued 30-day suspended jail sentence per charge. Branson committed these solicitations from his campus office. He was never charged for the possession of, in his own words, an extensive CP collection in his AU office. How is that even possible? How is that possible? He called local daycare seeking to abuse children. He was issued a 30-day suspended jail sentence per charge on 2 misdemeanor obscene telephone calls. He was never charged for the possession of, and in his own words, he had an extensive CP collection in his office. Branson was caught when he called Suzanne Eva Allen, a mother operating a home-based daycare. Her husband, David Allen, was a detective with Fairfax County Police Department. A search warrant was obtained, and Susan Allen recorded more than 30 hours of calls with Branson, during which he described going to sex slave auctions in Chicago and Detroit, bragged about his abuse of children, his CP collection. Oh my God. The 4-year-old girl who was his slave and strapping his wife to a wheel in their basement. Branson asked Suzanne Allen if she and her husband included their children in SEX and asked to, oh my God, assault their children. He told her, okay, I'm not even going to read that. Branson's calls to Suzanne Allen followed a pattern of similar calls. Investigators had been trying to identify the caller on the tape for over a year. From January to April 1990, he called 10 to 15 other local daycares. He also admitted to calling as many as 15 women. Media reports noted other witnesses, including a retired South Carolina police officer, but no one except Allen came forward. The Washington Post reported at the time charges were not brought in a second case. Oh my God. Richard Branson remains a professor emeritus at American University. What? How is that even possible, you guys? He's still a professor. God. Hey, Llama. All right. I don't know why this guy don't have a picture here. Elliot Morris McGinnis, 94-year-old psychology professor and former department chair, American University, was charged October 9th, 2015 for crimes against children. He had previously been arrested in 1986 for assault of a 9-year-old girl. Prosecutors repeatedly dropped the charges. American University continued to employ McGinnis after his 1986 arrest and allowed McGinnis to retain emeritus status after the renewed 2015 charges. What is wrong with people? Langley Frizzle, adjunct psychology professor and director of distance education, Hawaii Pacific University, was reportedly served and searched November 16th, 2017 for CP-related charges. Frizzle apparently took his own life the following day on November 17th, 2017. Frizzle received an award for excellence in mentoring of the online teaching program. The student paper reported he was available days, evenings, and even weekends and lurks on chats until students are comfortable with technology. He had published research articles about student online chat rooms and was employed at HPU since 1999. B. Wan Cho, 61-year-old graduate chair, Mechanical Engineering Department, University of Hawaii, was indicted and arrested August 3rd, 2016, on 2 charges, one per of possessing and transporting child CP. In a deal, he pleaded guilty May 30th, 2017, to 1 charge, with the other charges dropped. He was sentenced December 27th, 2017, to 6.6 years in federal prison, followed by 10 years of supervised release and a $35,000 fine. Chow had been trading in hardcore assault and torture of young children. The university placed Chow on paid leave upon his arrest. He was earning $114,000 a year at the time and had been employed at UH since 1992. He had received the Board of Regents Medal of Excellence 2002 for his teaching. Chow was free on $50,000 bond in the custody of his wife during the legal process. He is a registered SO and is no longer employed at University of Hawaii. Let me go over here and see what you guys are saying. Is that the new qualifications to become a professor? Yeah, I know. Why is this thing here? I can't see. It's crazy to me, you guys. If you guys haven't hit that like button, please remember to do so. It's a free way to help out the channel. We need to spread awareness about these things. No, this isn't fun to read about. No, this isn't fun to go through. But children fall victim to this every single day, and it should be talked about. David Allen Stiganza, I don't even know, 63-year-old professor of mathematics, University of Hawaii, was arrested September 17, 2009 on 12 state-level child sexual exploitation charges. He pleaded guilty February 18, 2011 to all 12 counts and was sentenced at the state level on May 4, 2011 to 5 years probation with no jail time. He raped a 7-year-old girl over a 6-year period. The child was a neighbor and family friend. Okay, I'm not going to read that next part. I can't read stuff like that. He also produced CP of the victim. He had been employed at UH since 1980. In 2009, he received the Faculty Excellence in Teaching Award. UH placed him on paid leave after his arrest and then allowed him to retire in 2010. He was arrested on campus. He was also the vice president of the board of directors of the Honolulu Zoo Society and maintained the zoo's website. He had been featured on a local news show as a hero for his volunteerism at the Honolulu Zoo. He is a registered SO. Can we just, he was sentenced to 5 years probation with no jail time after raping a 7-year-old girl over a 6-year period. I mean, that is mind-blowing. It is picking daisies, yes. They seem to get very minimal sentencing. It just blows my freaking mind. All right, let's see, you guys. I still have a lot of these to go through, but I do believe all of these people should be called out. All of these, this all should be brought to light. All of these people, because children are going through this every day. And I want people out there that are doing it to children right now to know that we won't stop until we can put an end to it. We won't stop until we can spread a little light into the dark, dark world. And people need to know that, there are people out here fighting for the children. They just need to know that. All right. So I thought I'm obviously not going to be able to get through this whole entire list. So tonight at 8:00, I will be doing my live that I was not able to get to last night. And we will continue this tonight at 8:00. We will do part 2 of this video. So, because I got to get ready for this party. But thank you guys for being here. Please hit that thumbs up. Please share this video. If you want to help out, donate to the channel. The links are all down in the description below. So meet me back here tonight at 8:00 for part 2. I love you guys. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions and keep spreading that light. Thank you guys. I will see you next time.